Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Wild Things session on Meet the Next Generation of Stewards Conservation Corps programs. My name is Melissa Agarwal and I am with Friends of the Forest Preserves. So I wanted to give you a sincere thank you for joining us and allowing us to share about all our opportunities that we have for our Conservation Corps programs and to share about some of the upcoming job opportunities that we have. So the basic agenda for the presentation today is that I will share kind of an overview about Conservation Corps programs. Then it will kind of break into two sections about adult programs and high school programs. For our first section, for adult programs, I will talk about our adult year-round program at Friends of the Forest Preserves. Then Alex Horvath will share about our career immersion program with Forest Preserves of Cook County and Friends of the Forest Preserves. Then Servando Moreno will share about Audubon Great Lakes Habitat Restoration Internship. Then we'll go to the high school section. And Sam Vergara, he will talk about our Chicago Conservation Leadership Corps summer program. And that is with the Student Conservation Association and Friends of the Forest Preserves. And then I will close about our Forest Preserve Experience program. Right? Thank you. All right. So what is the Conservation Corps? Right? You may have, heard about the Conservation Corps, the Civilian Conservation Corps back in the 30s. They did a lot of infrastructure projects and projects all over the nation to help state parks and national parks kind of become what they are today. So our Conservation Corps started in 2005 to benefit and to restore the natural areas in Cook County for the benefit of Cook County's plants, animals, and people. And so our Conservation Corps programs, they're all paid job opportunities. And where it's really important, we have, two parts to our program of really the employment part and then providing a lot of training and certifications for people to, be able to do their jobs now and, to learn to, do better and bring all those certifications and skills that they acquire at these programs and take them into their next job. All of our programs are really team-based. They're all in crews or in groups doing hands-on projects and working, to improve Cook County through, lots of different conservation and restoration projects. Every year, there's around 300 people in these programs. And so far, since 2005, nearly 2,500 people have been through our Conservation Corps programs. So our Conservation Corps goals are our first one is to provide programs with people that have various barriers to employment. And that can be, many different things. Whether it's access to transportation, which can, it can be a barrier to get to jobs. It could be people that have had some kind of encounter with the justice system. Or people that just kind of need, different accommodations, maybe hearing impaired or different things. So, we try to accommodate all kinds of different barriers. Provide paid work experience. This is really important. Not everyone can volunteer their time. So we know that, it's important for people to be paid for the work that they do. Bringing diverse populations to Cook County. Right? Unfortunately, like the environmental community, has kind of suffered from a lack of diversity, and that's something that our Conservation Corps programs really, strive to change that. We try to make, Cook County is a very diverse county, and we want to show that in our people in our programs. And then, help restore Cook County's forest preserves. Right, so how are these programs run? Okay, so these programs are all run by different organizations, which I will show you in the next slide. They are all, supported in various ways. There is a common thread of being supported financially from the Forest Preserves of Cook County. And then there are all kinds of other different sources of funding that come and support these programs. Right, so the organizations that currently make up the Conservation Corps program are Green Corps Chicago, the Student Conservation Association, Audubon Great Lakes, Friends of the Forest Preserves, and the Forest Preserves of Cook County. Right, so for today, you will hear from a representative from all of these organizations, except for Green Corps Chicago. Right. So here's a little bit, some information about our programs. We have 6 programs in the Conservation Corps, 2 high school summer youth programs, and 4 adult programs. 3 of the adult programs are shorter term, typically spanning from, spring till fall or till summer. And then at Friends, we do have a year-round program. All right, so I will start talking about our adult full-time program at Friends of the Forest Preserves. So, our mission at Friends is to unite people to protect and promote and care for the forest preserves. In one of the many ways that we, work towards our mission is through our Conservation Corps programs that began back in 2007. So some of our focuses, are teaching our crews hands-on technical skills. So that, is teaching chainsaw, using the brush cutter, more advanced chainsaw training, backpack spraying. And then, in addition to, the work technical part, we support them through professional development, such as mock interviewing, resume building, financial literacy, and continuing education, to learn about the work that we're doing, learn about the land that we're doing the work on, about the plants and animals that are on this land. And all of this training really makes our crews better for, their, in a better place to do the work right now, and then for them to bring all those skills into their next job. So here at Friends, we have 4 regional crews. The one up in Barrington, the Barrington Greenway Initiative crew, our Palos crew, North Branch crew, and the Calumet crew. So we have a total of 22 people on the ground in the field. Some of the work that we do, so an example of some summer work is, typically doing invasive species removal through herbiciding, through backpack spraying, hand wicking. We're also able to sometimes do different native planting. But I'm gonna say a majority of our job through growing season, so spring and summer, is doing different kind of invasive control. During the dormant season, this is kind of normally our most popular season with people that they enjoy the most, is doing chainsaw work, doing invasive chainsaw removal of invasive woodies, and then assisting the Forest Preserves of Cook County doing prescribed burning. Last year, even despite of COVID, our crews, they worked to control over 737 acres of invasives at over 78 sites in the forest preserves. Right. Another great part of being in the Conservation Corps is the professional networking opportunities. The Forest Preserves of Cook County really put on, they put a lot of effort into planning networking events for all of our Corps partners. At these events, it's really time to kind of meet with other people that are in these fields and meet with representatives from different jobs. And just kind of learn about the work that they're doing and, you know, see other work that's being out there to see if that's an interest for you and kind of making those connections, you know, to further your career and see more things that maybe you would like to do in the future. Addition to these days planned by the Forest Preserves, we do a lot of joint work days. So during non-COVID times, you know, we would generally have joint work days with Green Corps or Audubon, and that just really gives another opportunity for people to connect, you know, and network, and just kind of getting to know each other and kind of building that community and just strengthening that community here in Chicago. Right. So if you are interested in working at Friends of the Forest Preserves, we don't really have a set time of when we are, you know, opening positions. It's kind of year round whenever we have a position available. So I would suggest kind of periodically checking our website. And we also do post on Chicago Environmental Network. Great, so thank you very much. Up next will be Alex Horvath, and he will share about the Career Immersion internship with Friends of the Forest Preserves and the Forest Preserves of Cook County. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex Horvath. I'm the Conservation Corps Program Assistant. I work for Friends of the Forest Preserve. Part of my job is to oversee and help run our Resource Management Career Immersion internship. And that's what I'm hoping to talk to you all about today. Just an overview of this program. It's held in partnership between Friends of the Forest Preserve and the Forest Preserves of Cook County. So even though on your paycheck it would say Friends of the Forest Preserve, your real day-to-day work will be amongst resource management staff within the Forest Preserves of Cook County. And we've had this program going since 2015. So we've got about 5 years of experience under our belt and 5 years of alumni out in the world. This program is meant really for people early in their careers, people who are looking to get their foot in the door in the conservation field. We're not just limited to college students, even though we get a lot of college student applicants. We're looking for people with diverse backgrounds. So even if you just have maybe a summer or two of landscaping work under your belt, it's definitely worth applying. You know, we're trying to be as inclusive as possible to everyone. And what's kind of unique about this program is that you work amongst resource management staff. So you're working with people who have been in their profession for years, if not decades sometimes. So you really have access to all of this knowledge and all these resources to learn as much as you can throughout the course of this internship. So we do hire 11 interns usually every year, 10 of which are forestry resource management interns. And as you can see on this map, we have 5 locations throughout the county. So no matter where you live in the county, you're probably nowhere more than a half hour away from one of our sites. So it's pretty accessible to everyone. And then we have 1 fisheries intern in Orland Park. This internship runs from June to early August. So it's perfect for people looking for summer jobs. Occasionally, when the funds are available, we are able to extend a couple interns who really are excelling into the fall and maybe even into the winter. That's kind of on a case-by-case basis. Like I said earlier, we're looking for people who are really passionate about this kind of work and are willing to get their hands dirty. You'll be out there in pretty hot, humid conditions, really doing some hard work. But if it's something you care about, it really makes it worth it, I think. And it's a really great way to get field experience on your resume. So like I said, our internships are kind of broken down into 2 categories. The first of which is the bigger one. That's our resource management and our forestry sections. So you would kind of do a couple different things throughout the day. It's kind of different day to day, depending on what time of year it is or what crew you're on or what sites you're working at. But you'll be doing things like forest management. That includes hazardous tree removal, trail clearing, and some ecological restoration. The goal of this is to keep our forest reserves safe and enjoyable for members of the public visiting and to maintain them in a healthy condition. You'd be trained to use tools like chainsaws, brush cutters, bobcats, some people call them skid steers, And then as you can see in this picture, tractors or other vehicles used for mowing or hauling large equipment. And finally, the chipper. So if you're kind of a gearhead and you like to get your hands dirty with this kind of heavy machinery, this is definitely the position for you. These are just some of the skills you'll need to, eventually move on to forest management if that's what you want to do someday. And then our other internship is our fisheries internship. So we hire one of these interns every year. So your job would kind of be broken down into two categories. The first of which is the bigger one, that's sampling fisheries throughout the county. So this really includes going out on the boat most days and catching fish specimen or stocking lakes, going back to the lab, testing water quality and fish. Once you catch them, bring them back to the lab and examine them and determine how healthy they are and stuff like that. The other thing is outreach. So you would assist in public engagement events, getting people from the community to learn about fish or to interact and learn how to fish. So this is something that we don't really know what it's going to look like this year. In normal years, this is it's a lot more easily done, but with safety guidelines, something that's kind of up in the air right now. And in this internship, you'll learn how to use things like dip nets, gill nets, trap nets, all these great fishing equipment that I've never really used before. Of course, lab equipment. That's going to be another part of your job, is doing water testing. And finally, you'll get comfortable on a boat. If you haven't been on boats before, you'll really get your sea legs with this internship, or lake legs. And then, of course, there are the benefits of these internships. So one thing that we really stress is getting people a ton of trainings and certifications, because these are all things you're really going to need if you'd like to go further in your career in conservation. Basically, having things on your resume will show future employers that you've done this before and they don't need to take the time to train you. So right off the bat, there's CPR first aid, group leadership, and that's just kind of how to problem solve and interact with different members of Conservation Corps in the community, plant and invasive ID. And with this comes practical herbicide, so learning how to use a backpack sprayer or applying herbicide on cut stumps. There's chainsaw feller certification, so if you're in forestry, that's going to be a really important one. Brush cutter safety, and like I said, for our interns who are able to continue on into the fall, they'll even get trained up on how to use on Chicago Wilderness prescribed burn, so that they could use prescribed burn in the field. And of course, there's a great opportunity for networking. You'll be working amongst Friends staff and Forest Preserve staff. So throughout the summer, you'll be meeting different Forest Preserve staff in different positions across the county, and especially on your crew that you'd be a part of. And then, of course, in years where it's safe, we do larger events where you get to meet with other Conservation Corps crews. So one of these is the Conservation Corps Celebration Day. And that's that large picture on the bottom of all these people together. These are people from Audubon Great Lakes, Green Corps, Forest Preserve, and of course, Friends of the Forest Preserve. And there's a way for kind of, young professionals to meet each other and network. And then we've even had some jobs come from this. Just if you work for Friends of the Forest Preserve and you want to work for Audubon, that's your perfect chance to meet folks from Audubon. And then there's the Conservation Corps Conference. And this is usually held in the fall, and our interns are invited to this as well. And this is a chance to meet people from different career fields, have a career panel, learn about maybe what you'd like to do one day after this internship. So this is a really great way, once again, to get your foot in the door and see what's out there. So these are just a couple of our career immersion alumni. Victor Short there on the left, he was one of our first career immersion interns back in 2015. He was actually a graduate from the Green Corps training program, so a different Conservation Corps program, and he came to us. He got even more experience using chainsaws and other important equipment, and eventually this led him to his path as a field supervisor with Cardno, and then which is a contracting company. And then these two young guys to your right, that's Brandon and Brendan. They were actually career immersion interns from the past 2 or 3 years who went straight from that to becoming resource techs with the county. So they got to work on the same crews that they were interns on, which is, very exciting for them and for us. So finally, how do you apply? You just email me at jobs@friendsoftheforestpreserve.org with your resume and cover letter in a single PDF. Our recruitment goes from January to February. So by the time you see this, we might still have a few of our forestry slots open. But if not, you can always ask me questions about maybe applying next year or in the future, or if you have any questions in general about how the program works. So thank you all so much for your time, and I hope you learned something.
Hello, everyone. My name is Servando Moreno. I am the Stewardship Program Associate with Audubon Great Lakes. I actually started out at Audubon through this program. Back in 2018, I was an intern, and I actually fell in love with the field work and everything that has to do with this program. So much so that later in 2020, when I had the opportunity to come back as a crew chief, I took it. And now coming into my third season with Audubon, I'm actually the Stewardship Program Associate. That means that I'm going to be in charge of both the interns and the internship program. So hopefully I can make it as special as it was for me. A little bit about Audubon. Audubon is dedicated to protecting birds and other wildlife and the habitats that support them. Audubon's mission is to engage people in bird conservation through science, policy, education, and on-the-ground conservation action. Audubon's unique value is a powerful grassroots network of local chapters, state offices, Audubon centers, important bird area programs, and over 700 staff across the country. As you can see, these are some of the previous interns, and usually we aim to have a group about this size, including an assistant crew chief and a crew chief who are in charge of scheduling and planning work days, as well as different events. So as you can see over to the right, that is the most recent season where we had to deal with COVID-19 and all the struggles that accompanied that, including wearing masks, sanitizing, keeping a safe distance, and making sure that all our crew members are safe. In this coming season, we will continue to abide by these rules and adapt as we receive more information. A little bit about the internship. For over a decade, Audubon Great Lakes has trained young adults for careers in conservation. And annually, we hire interns, we train them, we supervise them to work on land managed by the Forest Preserve of Cook County and Chicago Parks District, respectively. Restoration interns help to restore ecological health and the integrity of prairies, savannas, woodlands, wetlands, and heavy marsh habitats by removing invasive species. Through the program, interns will have the opportunity to acquire different ecological certifications, licenses, attend conferences, and field seminars. One of the most important ones is the ability to test for and obtain the Illinois herbicide applicator license. This means that they will be able to both mix and spray herbicide. In addition to this, they will be able to obtain brush certifications in brush cutter use and maintenance, brush pile burns, group leadership, managing invasives, and other ecology-related field courses. Also, they will be able to attend any educational trainings and events to gain exposure to other conservation organizations and professionals for the purpose of future job placement and to grow their network. This internship is an excellent opportunity to gain experience in natural areas management and land stewardship, as well as contribute to the growing network of people and organizations in Chicago who have a passion for conservation. So some of the restoration techniques will include plant ID, planting native plugs, seed collection, processing and dispersal of that seed, and when applicable, they will also be doing controlled brush pile burns. Along with this, one of the most important skills that we hope to develop is their leadership and team building. They will hopefully be able to effectively collaborate by working alongside Audubon crews, Audubon staff, partner restoration staff, volunteers, and other people who work in the areas we do. Another thing we hope that comes back after COVID-19, after we are all able to work a little bit more freely, is volunteer days, because volunteer days are a big part of the internship. And during these volunteer days, not only will the interns do the work that they normally do, they'll also have a chance to both professionally and appropriately interact with members of the public and volunteers, while still carrying out the work that needs to be done. And this will also give them an opportunity to be able to explain what we do, why we do it, and how other people can get involved in what we do. We encourage anybody from all different backgrounds to apply to this position. Another big part of Audubon is developing the interns so that they will be able to continue developing their skills professionally and move on to hopefully jobs in the field. The program actually has an 80% track record of interns moving on to jobs in conservation related and green fields right after their time at Audubon. And this is in part due to the one-on-one tailored professional development opportunities that we give them, which includes getting them meetings with people in the field, getting them job shadowing opportunities in fields and positions that they are interested in. Thank you so much. And we hope that you will consider sharing this or applying for this position. We'll be posting the positions of Habitat Restoration Intern, Assistant Crew Chief in the following week. Feel free to reach out with any questions or if you want further information. I have included my email at the end of this presentation.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Vergara, and I'm with the Student Conservation Association. I am the Chicago Program Manager, and I'm here today to talk to you about opportunities within the Chicagoland area and how you can get involved with the Student Conservation Association. So let's get things started. So the SCA is the nation's oldest and largest youth conservation organization. We were founded in 1957 by Elizabeth Titus Putnam, who happened to be a college-age student. We now have over 85,000 alumni, and members have completed over 28 million hours of service. Our mission is to build the next generation of conservation leaders and inspire a lifelong stewardship of our environment and our communities by engaging young people in hands-on service to the land. So pretty much who are we? We are the nation's leader in youth service and stewardship since 1957, with 85,000 young people to work in America's parks and public land. Where we work in the backcountry, so we actually work in national parks, deep in like the forest, laying down trails and doing invasive removal. Front country, which is like in forest preserves, nothing too far out from the city, you know, where our youth are able to go back and forth to the front country, on backcountry where they camp out in the actual wilderness. And then 35% in our urban areas, so a lot of our state parks, our local parks, our communities where they have green space. These are areas where young individuals are working to make a difference within their communities. Our members range from anywhere from 15 to over 25 years of age. We recruit a lot annually, and there are more people becoming part of the SCA. We are also building a lot of different partnerships with many different partners, from the U.S. Forest Service to wildlife refugees. So anywhere that you're trying to get involved in making a difference, we hopefully have some sort of partnership that we can start you off in the right direction. So let's talk about our founder a little bit. So Liz Putnam was in her senior thesis at Vassar College, and this is what she came up with, like, hey, we need young people to do hands-on service to the land. Why not? Back then, our national parks were being highly neglected, and a lot of people were going there and just leaving trash. And, you know, a lot of people were also saying that, you know, these youth aren't doing anything. You know, you've heard that before. Like, you teenagers don't do anything. You guys are lazy. But Liz pretty much proved a point that, hey, you know, like, no, we got to go out here and do service to the land. And she launched a program in 1957, then, which is like more than 60 years ago, at the Grand Tetons in the Olympic National Parks to start this off. Ever since then, it expanded to serve all federal, states, and local agencies, and they model this type of program. They would like to model this program. That's why a lot of great conservation programs came out of this program. So now we have 85,000 alumni worldwide, and 70% of them still remain active in conservation. So Liz, the mother of the American Youth Conservation Movement, received the Presidential Citizen Medal in 2010. And here is her receiving that medal with President Barack Obama. You can see they both have an awesome smile on their face because they know the amount of work that it takes to do that, and, you know, what movement that she created. So here's some of the outcomes that we have from 2016. A lot of the outcomes are, you know, a lot of these numbers are probably twice that now, if not, just the amount of work that we've been doing, who we've been servicing, the amount of service that we have, where we've been making an impact. And as you can see, Chicago, we have a little bit of an area where we, well, it looks like on this map a little bit of an area, but it's quite a big area of where we've been putting our footprint and helping out. Excuse me. So our impact doesn't really just pertain to conserving land, as you can see all these awesome numbers about conserving land, but we're also transforming lives. A lot of people who go through our program have a great experience and end up leading to something positive, or they end up finding a little bit more about themselves, about their teams, and how to work with individuals. So as you can see the numbers here, 92% are more empowered to protect the park, 79% are planning to volunteer with their communities after the SCA. So we see a lot of more people getting involved with the conservation movement, not just during our program, but want to continue with it after our program. So let me talk a little bit about our Chicago urban initiatives and how you can get your foot in the door and how you could get involved with the Student Conservation Association. So we have a lot of different opportunities. This is for our young adult positions between 18 and 25 years of age. We have an all-women's crew, which is a 6-month crew, and they receive training and certifications in the conservation field. Hopefully we're going to have this Illinois Beach State Park crew up in Zion doing coastal restoration and wetland restoration. We have a Calumet Tree Conservation crew. It's a 9-month crew. They receive training and certification in tree planting care and arboriculture, taking care of trees, planting trees, tracking trees in the Northwest Indiana area. So doing a lot of awesome work in tree planting. We have a lot of trees that they're planting, and we have a lot more community members who are interested in trees. Next is the Conservation Leadership Corps Summer Crew Leader. If you feel like you're a mentor for our youth and really like working with teens out in the conservation field, this is a great position for you. And it's a 6-week summer program where you get to, lead teens out in the forest preserves, Chicago Park Districts, or one of the state parks within our partnership, leading youth within in different conservation tasks. So for high schoolers, so hopefully here's where a lot of you high schoolers are paying attention. We do offer summer opportunities. One is called the Conservation Leadership Corps, and the Chicago Conservation Leadership Corps, the CCLC, which is a 6-week paid summer program. It's $10 the hour. We have learning hands-on conservation work skills in our local forest preserves, Chicago Park District and state parks. It would be great for, not a lot of us can get out to all of our national parks. We can't all get out to the, Grand Canyon and do work out there. But what better way to learn how to appreciate these awesome open spaces in our own backyard? There's plenty of Chicago parks, forest preserves, and natural spaces within our communities that we could volunteer on. And these are in our own backyard that we should care about. Most of the projects that you'll be doing will be like invasive species removal, trail maintenance and construction. You might be building natural play areas, native planting and gardening. You'll learn a lot of leadership and professional developmental skills. You'll go on environmental field trips where we either go kayaking, canoeing, or learn a little bit more about what the Forest Preserve has for people around the Chicagoland area. You'll be in hands-on and in-field citizen science projects, tallying different species and checking different species out in the Chicagoland area, as well as building your roots in the community. So this is a great opportunity for teens your age to get your foot in the door in the conservation and hopefully lead to a future field in one of many green career paths. So let me show you a little bit about the types of projects we do. As you can see, we work with different hand tools, mostly bow saws, loppers, not too many power tools, because we are in a forest preserve. There's not really electrical outlets out in trees. You can see them conquering a tree or pulling out that shrub using the bow saw here. We do trail maintenance and construction. We'll dig culverts. We'll be using simple hand tools to create check steps, build fences, fix drainage on the trails, so making sure that whoever is visiting these forest preserve have an amazing experience. And we know that there are a lot of awesome individuals like yourself doing this maintenance. The Forest Preserve District of Cook County doesn't really have the amount of staff needed to do the amount of work that is needed out in our forest preserves. So it's people, volunteer groups, and organizations. We have programs like ours to do more to help out with a lot of that service. And you also get to work alongside with some of these great individuals who are performing this work out in the forest preserve. We'll be planting, we have different planting projects. Our Calumet crew will be helping plant trees in different local areas. So there's a lot of different opportunities and different tasks that you'll be doing within part of our program. I was talking about our education and recreational outings. You can either go camping, we'll go canoeing, visit different state parks, go visit the Field Museum. There's a lot of different opportunities for you to learn what is out there in the career of environmental education, or just learning about different conservation, or just learning about different cool recreational outings at the Forest Preserve, or what's essentially within your backyard, within the Forest Preserve District of Cook County, Chicago Park District, or any one of our state parks. So what makes a great, what do we look for in one of our internships, either for our crew members or for our adult crews? We're looking for people who are interested in working and learning about conservation. We're looking people to see the whole program through. You have to see the whole program through. Work well with others, because you are working in a team type setting. It's going to be you with at least 9 other teams and 2 crew leaders who are going to be guiding you through this experience. Willingness to get to work hard and get dirty. Conservation is not an easy thing to do. It's a lot of hard work. We are moving trees, we are removing plants, and you are going to get dirty, and it is summer. So you are going to be sweaty. It's going to be a lot of fun going around, but it's all for a good cause. We also look for individuals to use the newly developed skills and the network that we show them to do something with it. We want you to run with it in your community. Start an eco club, start a restoration club, adopt a forest preserve that you guys can do conservation. We'll be more than happy to help you out. So yeah, once you work with the Student Conservation Association, you're really helpfully start building your network to building a possible career. So if you would like to, please apply today. Our website is right, the website to the link is right there. Or if you have any questions, please wait to the end of the presentation to see my contact info, and I'll be more than happy to share the applications or links with you. With that, getting your foot in the door hopefully will get you into one of our national opportunities. Say that, yes, this was great. I love doing this in my own backyard, but I would love to go to one of our national parks. Love to go to the great Old Smoky Mountains, or to the Great Tetons, or Lassen Volcanic National Park. These hopefully there are national crews that we help you would sign up for, and if you do great, we'll be more than happy to give you a recommendation to one of our national programs. Here are some of SE internships, different crews, so you learn how to get work with chainsaws. Here's a different other crew doing hiking or doing some sort of trail maintenance or seed collecting out in different national parks. Here are a list of our different partners who we partner with here in Chicago. Chicago Park District, Forest Preserve District of Cook County, Friends of the Forest Preserve, Chicago Botanic Garden. So there's a lot of great organizations to make sure you have a great quality programming, but also making sure that we're getting a lot of great awareness out there, what's going on within our programs and within our green space. Potential careers after joining with the SCA, here's a awesome list of different things that you can get into and what we expose you to. So hopefully you can draw an interest from many different subjects that you are exposed to within our programs. So that leads us to the end of the presentation for the Student Conservation Association. If you have any other questions, please feel free to take down my contact information and reach out to me for any questions, concerns, applications, or learning about anything else that's going within the Chicagoland area. Other than that, I just wish you good luck, and I hope to see your application soon. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Sam. Hi, my name is Melissa Agarwal, and I'm with Friends of the Forest Preserves, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our high school summer program, the Forest Preserve Experience. This program is in partnership with the Housing Authority of Cook County, the Forest Preserves of Cook County, and Friends of the Forest Preserves. So this is a 5-week summer job program that is specifically for high school students that live in the Housing Authority. Right, so this is a summer job program to teach basic hands-on restoration skills. We also have a focus on learning about environmental education and ecology in our local forest preserves. And another part, is to teach soft skills. So for many of our young people in the program, it's going to be their first job. So it's really important to kind of teach those soft skills that you learn at your first job, such as, punctuality, leadership, and public speaking. Another big part of the program is really just to introduce everyone to being in nature and spending time in nature. Our goal really is to have it be a fun, positive, and safe experience. And, we hope for them to really become, stewards for the forest preserves, and to, we hope that they'll visit the forest preserves after the program's done, and to bring their families into the forest preserves. So, important aspect of our program is to eliminate barriers to participation in the program. Right? So some of the things that we do is we provide busing from central locations. And, we do that because we don't want transportation to be a barrier from being able to do this job. We also provide all of the PPE. We provide healthy snacks and water. We provide water bottles. We really provide everything that you would need to participate in the program. So you don't really, you don't have to pay for anything to participate in the program. We do our best to find relatable leaders, crew leaders for the program, and to have leaders that, really live in the community where our crew members live. For our crew members, it's no experience required. So this is really an entry-level job. And for most of our program, our crew members, it is their first job. Lastly, it is very important for, everyone in the program to be, to feel physically and mentally safe. And, we make sure that this is a program that is inclusive and that everyone feels safe no matter who you are in this program. So our program is really kind of split into 3 sections. So our first one is environmental restoration. So we'll be using hand tools, like loppers and bow saws to cut woody invasives such as buckthorn and honeysuckle. Every year our crews probably cut over 5 acres of invasives throughout the program. So, they're working really hard in making a difference in the forest preserves. Environmental education. So, we want to teach about the work that we're doing and, why our work is important and kind of the ecology behind it, and teach about, invasive ecology, or, learning about the different plants that are in the forest preserves. Some other things that we do, this is a photo here of a cooler in the forest at Sandridge Nature Center. So having some experiences with animals and doing macroinvertebrate sampling and going bird watching. Another thing that we do is Touch a Turtle Day, and this is put on by the Forest Preserves of Cook County, where they bring out wildlife biologists and people from their resource management teams, and they show all the things that they do in their jobs, all the tools that they use, and just kind of give them like a snapshot or like an experience into their career. All right, and environmental recreation. This is like the really fun part. We want them to see all the fun things that the forest preserves offer. So here's, canoeing and kayaking. We've done overnight camping at Camp Shabona, doing like challenges with the stairs at Swallow Cliff, the climbing wall and archery. So just, really having it be a fun experience, and, so they can see all the different things that the forest preserves offer. So we are hiring. We are getting ready for our summer 2021 program. So we will post these positions in the very beginning of March. So you can find them on our website, or we also post to Chicago Environmental Job Network. We will be hiring for crew leaders and for assistant crew leaders. If you are a young person, a high school student, and you live in the Housing Authority of Cook County, the Housing Authority will directly market to you. Okay. So thank you very much. Now, I will leave you with all of our contact information, and then I will leave you with 2 testimonial videos after this from 2 crew leaders from last year, kind of just talking about their experience being in a summer program. And then after that, I'll come back, and if you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. All right, thank you very much.
Everybody, Jovan Garland, part of the Green Lake crew, crew leader. So, you know, one of the things that, the most interesting thing I've learned, well, let me just start by telling you this. When I first started this program, I had some idea of what to expect, but at the same time, I was really just wondering, like, you know, what the experience was going to be and what the youth were going to be like and just different things like that. And being a part of this program has really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I otherwise wouldn't have known without being a part of this program. Like, you know, how much we play a vital role in society in terms of keeping our area clean, in terms of, you know, what animals choose to consume. That's either good for them or not good for them. Most of it is not good for them. But yeah, and so it made me want to be a better person. It made me want to just change my lifestyle, because before this, like, I was one of those people who would just litter and who would just throw things on the ground, not really being mindful of, like, you know, animals are probably going to eat this stuff and then they're going to end up, you know, dying. So it made me want to be a server. It made me want to pick up trash in my neighborhood to make my community a more cleaner environment, and just a lot of different things that I wouldn't have done without the help of this program. And so that's probably one of the most interesting things that I have learned, was just how to become a contributor to society in a good way. With that, over and out.
Hello, my name is Darian K.N. Manning, and I am one of the crew leaders of the Green Lake FPE program this summer 2020. And I am going to share some of the interesting things I have learned this summer as part of the program. One of the things I have learned this summer is environmental issues in Chicago that I hadn't previously known about. So for me, this includes learning about lead in the soil in Chinatown, includes learning about fugitive dust or fluff in Lincoln Park and the Calumet area, in addition to lead in the water in various areas in Chicago. I've also learned about how to take care of some plants. Specifically, I have my baby bur oak tree here, which I will soon be planting. I have also learned a lot about how to identify plants, insects, and animals in the Midwest, and though I'm still pretty bad at it, I've learned that I can use field guides, the internet, and apps, and know what tools to use now if I want to get better at identifying. In addition, I've also learned a lot about the importance of native plants, including the importance of growing them, of protecting them against invasive species, and of their connectedness with the ecosystem, animals, plants, and overall well-being of the area we are in. I'm very grateful for this program, for connecting me with my crew leader and with my crew members, and I'm very grateful for all this learning. I know I will continue to take with me throughout my time in the forest preserves and in the nature and in the world. So thank you.
Now, Melissa, I'd like to invite you to turn on your mic and turn on your camera. And we have time, we have about 5 minutes for a few additional questions. It looks like Erica was hoping to hear if you could say a few words about Green Corps' program, since they didn't have a representative here today.
Sure. Yes. Hi, everyone. I wrote in the chat, but, Green Corps is a very similar program to, our other Conservation Corps programs. However, they have different partnerships. And I know one of their partnerships is with IDOT. So they have different, they're not their sole focus kind of isn't doing conservation. They do conservation forest preserve projects, but they also are able to do other projects. So working with IDOT, I know they've done like construction projects before. So their program, has a lot more variation in the work that they do. And I'm glad Erica brought this up because they are actually, their application period is open right now. So they kind of do 1-year programs where they go through and they do all the training, all the certifications, and I believe it's like a 9-month span or a year span. So if you are interested in the Green Corps program, Google about that and apply because it is right now.
I'll invite folks to share any further questions in the chat. I know Melissa was keeping ahead of all the questions as we were going.
Yeah, while we're waiting for questions, one, I wanted to kind of give people that are on this, on this session kind of a, heads up or that we actually have 2 positions with friends on our Calumet crew. So we will be posting this tomorrow, or I'll maybe post it this evening, but we are looking for a crew manager for our Calumet crew, and we also are looking for a crew member for our Calumet crew as well. So I wanted to give you guys the first heads up on the position, and we will post it. It should be up by tomorrow morning. Okay, Erica, what happened to our roving crew? We as of last year, we had 5 crews. One of them was our roving crew, but it was kind of just a shift in funding. Really, there was, with COVID and everything, and just kind of different, funding challenges. Unfortunately, yeah, we had to kind of shift focus, and so we don't have our roving crew anymore. We're hoping that in the coming year, with maybe some additional funding, opportunities, hopefully, we'll be able to, start that crew up again.
Looks like we have a question from Peter. Do any of these programs provide for in-service learning credit with schools?
So we're able to, so I don't really know too much about that. I imagine that we would be able to, I know for volunteering days that we can kind of, sign that, that they've done volunteer credit or, for the hours that they did volunteering. So I'm not sure how that would work for our, for our paid jobs, since it also kind of is a paid, it's a paid job. So I don't know, but that's something that, we could reach out, if that was a question for like one of your, for someone for you, that we could kind of find out more about that.